Giant leaps forward in your evolution. Greetings, we are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. When you have an experience in your life that takes you to the edge of your ability to process, that is when you know you are making a giant leap forward in your evolution. It is often through the painful experiences, the most challenging circumstance, and the most heart-wrenching moments that you take your biggest steps forward. Now, as you consider these moments in your lives, you often feel like you are drowning in them, like you have miscreated, or like you are a victim of some sort. But if you were to take yourselves out of the details of the experience you are having and shift your perspective on it, seeing it as an opportunity to make a giant leap forward, you would transform the experience and you would transform the circumstance immediately. You don't have to change anything about what you are experiencing in order for you to move through it with ease and grace. You just need to see for what it is. It is an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to become more of who you are. And it is always your creation, which means you are given yourself the perfect opportunity, the perfect catalyst to springboard you to the next level of evolution. When you are in the midst of one of the very challenging circumstances in your life, you do have everything that you need to move through it. And you are usually in a very big hurry to move through it. So it is our recommendation that you recognize in the moment the opportunity that is before you. And we also recommend that you give yourselves plenty of time to sit with it and to look for the benefit of it. If you could feel the power of the energy that you are summoning in those moments of great despair, you would celebrate the fact that you access so much more. When you are ready to accept that everything benefits you, that everything serves you, and that everything is taking you closer and closer to the higher self that you really are, that is when you begin to play the game at a much greater level. That is when you achieve mastery. And that is when you know yourselves as a creator being who enjoy a good challenge every now and then. What you create. When you discover that you create your reality, you do have a challenging time accepting some of your creations. Why would you ever create a painful experience for yourself once you are an awakened being? What possible good can come from experiencing something that you consider bad? These are the questions that you ask when you understand that you realize your reality and you begin to put your energy towards creating it deliberately. We want you to recognize that this journey of ascension is the ultimate creation. It's not about creating a perfect third-dimensional experience for yourself and then staying grounded in the third dimension to enjoy the spoils of your creation. This is about movement, and this is about movement to an entirely new dimension of reality. Therefore, you create experiences that are going to serve you. Some of these experiences you won't necessarily enjoy, but they will have the desired effect. They will always nudge you forward. They will always continue the awakening process. They will get you to know yourselves more fully as source energy beings, because you will need to forgive yourself. You will need to experience compassion, and you will need to have an unconditional love for yourself and others. In order to know these traits of source energy, you must create circumstances and events that require the fully knowing of them, the full experiencing of them. And so, even though you would not deliberately create a so-called negative experience for yourself, you will create them nonetheless. These are the experiences that spur on the most growth. These are the experiences that get you to summon forth more energy and to know yourselves more completely. But what we see you now doing more often than not is questioning how you created such a mess for yourself. And then we see you being hard on yourself for not creating what you wanted to. And when you take that approach to what you've created, you miss out on the full benefit of it. Instead, we suggest that you accept your creations, and you look for the ways in which you can benefit from them, the ways in which they serve you, and the ways in which you can know yourselves more fully as source energy beings, who experience unconditional love, compassion, and forgiveness. And in so doing, you create the ultimate experience of this earthly plane, the experience of shifting from a third-dimensional egoic being to a fifth-dimensional higher self. The layers of awakening. There is an awakening process, and that process is multi-layered. You have your discovery of who you really are as a being of source energy. That could be described as the first layer or the first step in awakening. You also come to realize that everything is your creation. As source energy, the ultimate creator being, how could it not be your creation? Some of you take a next step that is somewhat sideways, where you begin to try to convince everyone else that your truth is true and that they should accept it. Some of you always have a tendency in your awakening process to point out to others what they are doing wrong, how they are miscreating their realities. It usually results in a very lonely experience as you discover that most people do not agree with your newfound beliefs. You then awaken to the fact that you must do the work. In this case, the work refers to the release of that which no longer serves you, and this can be a lengthy and arduous process. It often is. It can be the point in your awakening process where you give up, where you stop attempting to lead a spiritual lifestyle. It can be a point where you lose all hope because there are so many layers that you need to work through to get to the original truth that you discovered. The truth being that you are all source energy beings. We all are. Knowing it and experience it are two different layers. Experience it could be described as the final layer. However, you could also say that the final layer is when you have that full knowing of yourselves as source energy beings, and you actually create the reality that you've always wanted to experience. It takes knowing itself as a source energy creator being to get to the last step or last layer in the process. The work that you do, the clearing and the releasing, is all worth it. It is all worth it in the long run, because in the long run you recognize your power. You know yourselves as limitless, eternal, and infinite. You will fear nothing, and you will create everything consciously and deliberately, and you will allow others to do the same. The evolution of your solar system. We will give you plenty of information that will make much more sense when you are further along on our journey. So we are planting seeds with all of you. We are helping, we are assisting in putting things in front of you so that you will know when you're onto something. We give you these bits and pieces because we do not want to overload your systems, and because it takes time to process that which you receive. What we want to give you today is a bit of information about your solar system. Your solar system is evolving. Your solar system is changing. You are not going to be in the exact same solar system that you were when you complete the shift. There will be new planets. There may be 2 suns. You may no longer have a moon. There are lots of things that are shifting, and all of this information that we are giving you now is meant to trigger something within you. It's meant to start you down a particular path, a path that will lead you to more of your galactic history and also more of your role in all of this. You all played a part in the creation of the solar system. This is your plan being executed. When you think about the influence that planets have upon you right now, imagine how much more of an influence they will have upon you when you have a few new ones floating around. Imagine the impact of 2 suns, and realize that your desire to experience these changes come from a knowing that these changes are inevitable, and that they serve you all very well. Your galaxy is going to get much smaller and much more accessible, and everything about your solar system is going to shift along with you. You are the benefactors of these changes. You are the ones who bring them about, experience them, and decide on the next ones. So this isn't just happening, you are creating it. You are creating the new solar system, the new galaxy, and the new universe, so that you all may thrive in ways that you were always meant to thrive. You are becoming more of yourselves, and so, of course, the outer world would be a reflection of that. The gifts of your past lives. When you are ready to pay homage to all of your lifetimes of experience, then and only then are you ready to accept yourself as you are today. The person that you are today is unique, that is true, but the person that you are today is part of a much bigger story, and that is the story of your incarnational cycle. All of the versions that are out there in these lifetimes have a gift to give you. They offer you wisdom from these experiences. They offer you skills and abilities that they have honed. They also offer you the emotional amplification that you sometimes experience when you are having one of your moments in this lifetime. The emotional amplification is a result of a stockpiling of traumas. Now, when you see all these other versions of you in these past lives as giving you gifts, you then begin to accept the whole of who you are. If instead you see them as the version of you that are responsible for the karma that has been inflicted on you in this lifetime, you are playing the victim. And while it can be fun to blame a you that you can only experience through memories, it is not the way. It is not the way to get you to where you want to go. If instead you would honor the past life versions of you for their dedication to this incarnational cycle of yours, you would begin to benefit from more of their experience. You would also experience less of that backlash from some of the more challenging experiences. When you accept all aspects of yourself, you also accept all the experiences that help to shape and mold the previous version of you. And acceptance is the key for moving on from anything. So rather than cursing your past life selves for being delivered the karma to you that you sometimes experience, bless them. See them as the ones who did all the dirty work in the trenches so that you could evolve into the beautiful being that you are today. A being who is more than capable of cleansing and clearing what has been left for you by these previous versions of you. You are so much more than what you've experienced yourself as in this lifetime. We recommend that you reach out to these past life versions of you to give thanks and to receive the wisdom and the gifts that they have for you. Healing occurs on many levels, and some of these levels are still presenting themselves to you. So we also recommend that you be gentle with yourself through this process of integration. Track your progress. It is advantageous to you to keep track of your progress on this journey. You often attempt to quantify your progress by what you see outside of you. In other words, you measure how well you are doing spiritually by what you witness happening physically in your lives. But we would like you to measure your progress differently because we know that you are progressing, and we also know that the outside world isn't shifting as quickly as most of you would like. So first of all, let yourselves off the hook. Don't ask so much of yourselves, and please do not attempt to prove yourselves or your ability by attempting to manifest something or hone some skills of ability perfection, when instead you look at how you respond, how you react to certain events in your lives and in the world at large. You have all of the information that you need. And as you continue to observe yourself in these various scenarios, you're going to find that you get triggered less and less by the small stimuli. This doesn't mean that you become jaded or worn down by the events and circumstance. Quite the contrary. It means that you are capable of handling that which you face in your life. And as you face that which is in front of you, you are then capable of creating something new, something different. However, most of you want to experience the creation part right now. You want to get to the good part as soon as possible. And we understand that. We understand how being told that you create your reality would put you on a bit of a creating spree. And then if you don't see the results that you want to see, you begin to question the validity of that truth. And you begin to question yourselves. You begin to question whether you are good enough. But the bigger picture here is your evolution. And your evolution requires you to experience certain things that your ego would never choose for itself. When you respond to setbacks, challenges, hardships in your life with a sense of knowing that it serves you, that's when you know you have some real quantifiable progress on your hands. And that's when you know you have a bigger impact on your reality than your reality has the ability to impact you. And that's when you can know for certain that you are masters. And as masters, you are creating. And you are creating new realities, new worlds, new experiences. You are creating the new fifth dimension. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you.